Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Now, I'm hoping everything is running smoothly through the laptop. As you can see, we're not in the surroundings of the flat. We're back in the old location, the famous wall. I'm hoping everything's okay. I'm hoping you can hear and see me fine. I am going to be joined by Ryan McGinley very shortly as well. As always, he's running incredibly late, but you can't blame him. He is trying. So, hello. And yes, I've got a Christmas jumper on as well. I can see right there, straight away, first comment, what is that jumper? Well, it's Christmas time, right? It's also my work uniform. I've got my badge on, so I've got work soon after this, so I have to get the work uniform on. Just a wee Homer Simpson number, that's all. Just ho, ho, Homer. But welcome along to what is one of my favourite streams to do, and I love doing these. I love doing them for the group stages, the knockout stages, whether it be Champions League, Europa League, or now for the first time ever, Conference League. I'm loving this. I'm good to... I'm good to go, and I'm ready to react to the Conference League knockout stages draw today. Lewis Laird's in the chat. Ryan, busy doing Margaret's assessment. We've put it on hold. We've got 500 more words to do. It will be done, Lewis. But welcome along to what is, first time ever, the Conference League for Celtic. It's a competition that Brendan Rodgers didn't want to be in. He didn't really know existed, to be quite honest. But it's one that I'm thinking as a Celtic fan, I'm excited for. I'm looking forward to it. Something different, something new. Of course, it's not the place we want to be. We want to be in those Europa League draws. We want to be getting drawn alongside the likes of Borussia Dortmund. But if it's this is the way we have to go, I'm excited. I'm ready to take it on, and it's a competition which I'm looking forward to see Celtic challenge themselves in, and hopefully go the distance. Hopefully go as far as they can, and maybe get to the sort of final. But there's so much to talk about. We're going to be waiting for this draw to begin. You know what it's like, these competitions. But I have got my partner in crime. It's Ryan McGinley. There he is, on the right-hand side of your screens. McGinley, boy, how are you doing?
Sleep deprived, shattered.
Sleep deprived? You woke up about half an hour ago.
I was up till about 4:30, so... no, I'm quite good. I'm quite excited to see who we can get in this draw. Hopefully it's a easy-ish draw so we can actually win a knockout tie in my lifetime, or so it feels like. I can't really remember the last time we done it. I don't even think I watched Celtic at that point. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing who we can get, and fingers crossed we get a good draw.
Not only an easy draw, Ryan, I'm hoping that this draw actually goes without any hassle, because I don't know if you've been keeping up with the Champions League draw this morning. That is actually need to be redrawn because of the palaver they had in that earlier this morning.
I heard Rangers are asking if they can do the same with their draw.
Oh, you cheeky boy. There you go. Well, we'll wait and see what happens in the Champions League later, but it's all eyes in the Conference League. Maybe not for Brendan Rodgers, but it is for us right now. So if you are in the chat, you're here for some discussion with me and McGinley. We're going to talk about the teams that we can draw and or draw, depending on when it's done. We're going to try and keep you entertained while all the promotional stuff goes on. But McGinley, I'm going to throw up on screen just now the teams that we can draw in this round of the Europa Conference League. There is on the left-hand side the teams that Celtic can draw in this round of the competition. Just to run through them very quickly, we've got Maccabi Tel Aviv, Partizan Belgrade, Bodo Glimt, Randers, Slavia Prague, PAOK, Tottenham or Vitesse. There's a whole situation in there which is a conversation in its own, and also Karabag down the bottom. McGinley, out of all of those teams there right now, is there any that you favour in this round of the competition?
I think out of those teams, probably Randers, because Denmark is pretty easy to get to. You can just tell them they're playing against Rangers and get the players G'd up for it, although maybe that hasn't worked the past couple of years. Out of those, probably Vitesse as well, because I don't expect Tottenham to go through. I expect Vitesse to just go through because they've got that whole COVID issue. And Karabag wouldn't be bad either. I know it's a long journey, but I don't know what way it goes. Do we play at home or away first?
I think that we would be playing if we're unseeded, then I think we're home first. I'm not entirely sure. I'm completely guessing there. But you know, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because I think that those are a group of teams there, Ryan, that against the majority of them, I do fancy our chances against. I think that we have, I know that there is difficult ties in there. Let's not kid on there's not, because every team there, I believe, is going to test us. But you're looking at a group of teams, I believe, on that left-hand side of the screen there, that Celtic are capable of beating. When you look at how we played in that Europa League group stage, when we challenged Leverkusen to the very end. We challenged Betis to the very end. We beat Betis. We beat the champions of Hungary twice. I think that you've got a group of teams on that left-hand side of the screen that Celtic are capable of beating, some more so than others.
Yeah, there's some teams in there that you would think have the sort of Ferencváros sort of effect in the group. If they were in the group with us, those were the games that you would be expecting 3 points home and away. That's not been big-headed. It's just the way that group was with Betis and Leverkusen, you weren't really expecting much from those games. So the other team you were expecting to beat to get sort of accumulate your points. But I mean, there's a couple of teams you kind of want to avoid as well. I don't really want to be playing Slavia Prague. They've done a job on Rangers last season. I thought they were really, really impressive over 2 legs, apart from the whole racist incident that happened. Bodo Glimt, they're a really good team. They beat Roma a couple of months ago, and they've got Patrick Berg in the midfield. We know all about him. Everything Celtic absolutely loves that guy, and so they are. He's a great player. But there's definitely winnable ties in that draw. It's just all about who we get, I guess.
I think that even I don't know what's happening with Tottenham and Vitesse. Of course, that's yet to be decided. But I think even Tottenham, I'd fancy our chances against this year, Ryan. I really would. I think that Celtic always step up their game against English opposition, and I know that they've got this. Antonio, you're shaking your head. I know they've got.
Buy players in January.
Antonio,
they're going to have a war chest in January.
Look, listen, I don't think they're that great a side at the moment, and I think we could take them on. We always up our game again. Look, it's one of the ones I'd rather avoid. I'd rather maybe go down the route of a Randers or whatever. But I'm thinking to myself, against Tottenham, we could challenge them, Ryan. I know that you love your Premier League big boys, and I want to avoid the glamour ties. I really do. But I think that Tottenham, we are capable of giving a game. I'm not saying that we will beat them.
Probably are, yeah. Probably are capable of giving them a game. It's just I'm worried about who they'll sign in January to bolster their squad. They've been linked with that boy from Fiorentina, Vlahovic, who's been banging them in this season. I'm sure Conte's got targets, and I'm sure that Levy will be backing his man, but considering he couldn't get him in the summer, so I guess he'll be doing all he can to sort of keep him in that job and keep him happy.
Ryan McFarlane in the bottom of the screen, he brings up January in regards to Celtic. He says, I believe we can take any of these teams and go far in the competition. Don't get me wrong, it will be difficult, but if we add a few more players in January and the team can stay fit, there is any chance. And I would agree with him. You know, we're talking about the likes of Tottenham improving in January. I think that it's easy to forget that Celtic will be strengthening their side in January. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how whatever team lines up come this round of the competition. Right?
I've got to say, though, if Tottenham don't get through, and I'm looking at a couple of comments saying that they probably won't go through.
Yeah,
I would say Vitesse would be a good draw for us because they're a worse team than AZ Alkmaar, you would say.
Yeah, you'd think so. Then again, it's just that is Celtic going to be guilty of that European naivety that we always get? The teams that we should be end up losing to, and then the teams we, the vice versa. I feel like that always happens with Celtic.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's worrying. It's a worrying sort of attitude problem, but you've just got to look at the way we've performed, especially away from home this season in the Europa League, to see that maybe the mentality shifted. Maybe Ange just sort of changed the mentality of the team, and that's really exciting because I'm going into away games not expecting us to get cuffed anymore. I'm expecting us to put up a fight, which is absolutely brilliant.
There's one team in there that I think Neil Lennon would be happy with if we managed to draw Maccabi Tel Aviv. He's got a great affiliation with the people of Israel, Ryan. But, there's talking on that, there's places that are difficult. I think the fans would love a trip that they can go to and they can watch the side. There's not an awful lot of easy ones in there, Tel Aviv being one of those. But you're hoping that there's, a wee trip for Celtic fans in there. I'd love to get back abroad in February or March time.
I know that Israel, though. Come on.
What's wrong? Israel is a beautiful country.
Aye.
Have a great affiliation with the people.
Ask the Palestinians. I'm not going to get too political about that, but out of those ones, I'm trying to think of an away day that'd be quite good out of those ones.
Out of those, I think the best away day would probably be a wee day in Prague wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, Prague would be quite good.
Norway and Denmark.
Belgrade as well.
Well, Belgrade, Christ, you taking a bulletproof vest with you?
Aye.
Well,
at least it's not Red Star Belgrade. They're a much better team,
I suppose, but they'll be cutting about anyway. Right, I believe the draw is about to commence. I've got it over. I don't know if you've got it on there, Ryan. Are you watching?
I'll just watch it through Twitter, I think.
I believe the draw is about to begin. I've got it on my right-hand side over here. I can't, before people start asking, right, because I know what's going to happen. People are going to put the draw on screen. It's impossible for me to do that in regards to video. Usually they allow this sort of text version of it, but it's not here at this point to show you the text on screen. But I'm not allowed to play the actual video footage of the draw. Either that, UEFA will shut my channel down, and we'll not be in a great situation. But we've got over 600 viewers at this moment in time. A lot of people who aren't actually Celtic fans as well. A lot of people coming over from different sides. I've got a Fenerbahce fan in the chat, for example.
Biggest team in Turkey.
I don't know how you can. I don't know how you can understand the word we're saying. But if you are here to look at our coverage, thank you very much. And if you haven't, make sure to hit the subscribe button below.
Some of these comments are hilarious, by the way.
Is it to do with the Fenerbahce stuff?
Fenerbahce black hole.
Right, Ryan, before the draw commences, I'm going to ask you two quick questions. Who do you want, and who do you think will your prediction, and who do you want?
Prediction, I think we'll get Karabag, and who I want, Randers. You
think we're going to get Karabag? Any sort of reason, any inkling towards it, or is it just a kind of feeling?
Because it's a hellish away day. And we don't usually have good luck with sort of away days like that. And I remember how much the Arsenal and Chelsea fans struggled to get over to Azerbaijan a couple of years ago for the Europa League final. So you can only imagine how much of a nightmare that sort of trip is. It won't be as bad for the players, mind you, because they'll go straight there. But for fans, it'll be an issue.
Yeah, I was hoping that they would provide one of the sort of text draws on the screen, but I don't know if we're going to quite get that. We have got a live update section that might be able to provide us something. I will keep this on screen just now, just out of the hope that they do provide us with some details. Oh, there's me. I better take him away. I'm going to get done. There's me, your man up the top there. I better pause that.
There's Uefa man away.
There's Uefa. There's Giorgio Marchetti. And the draw is commencing, ladies and gentlemen. They are drawing them out. I'm just going to remove this from the screen just now till I know if there's anything there. But here we go. The Europa Conference League draw is starting. The first team out the pot right begin with Olympique de Marseille. They're first out. So obviously Celtic can't be drawn against Marseille. So who are we going to lose first here? That's the question.
We're going to get Randers probably.
Do you think Marseille are going to get Randers here?
Aye.
It's weird. How are you feeling about the Conference League? Obviously, we've seen Rangers this morning draw Borussia Dortmund in the Europa League. We've seen the rest of the Europa League draw. We've seen the English sides in the Champions League. I know for a long time in the podcast, you were sort of championing the thought of Conference League football. Now that we're here, how does it feel?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it because you look at the teams that we can come up against in this sort of competition. You're thinking we could win a couple of knockout ties here, which would be great for the growth of the squad.
There's Karabag away. Sorry to cut you off, but Karabag will be playing.
Right, that's not too bad. That would have been a sort of nightmare sort of one logistically. So
continue what you were saying.
It'll be good experience if we can win a couple of knockout rounds. It'll put us in good stead for the future, going back into maybe the Champions League or the Europa League, depending on where we finish this season. It would be good to sort of get a wee bit of momentum going. I'd quite like to go further on in a competition. I feel like we can do that best here because you look at even the teams in Europa League. You get teams like Napoli, Barcelona, Leipzig, etc. If we were to have gone through, we would have got Zenit. So that would have been
there was no real easy tie for Rangers this morning. There was nobody that even the easiest would have probably been the likes of Sheriff, but they're off the back of beating Real Madrid, who are top of the league at the moment. You know that they are a very good side.
This is the thing about the Conference League. It seems as though a lot of those sort of average teams in the Europa League last season have now moved into the Conference League. So the Europa League is improved as a product now with the teams that are in it. So I think this is more our level just now. And we'll see how we can go.
The second tie has been drawn. PSV Eindhoven will be playing Maccabi Tel Aviv. So
that's not too
bad. Obviously, Neil Lennon he'll be on his trip for the knockout stages. But yeah, there you go. The next team out of the pot is Fenerbahce. So for the Fenerbahce fans who are in the chat, who are for some reason here watching their reaction, Fenerbahce have been drawn out. They'll be getting their side in a minute. But yeah, Ryan, I think that we're here now, and I think for this season, the Conference League was probably somewhere Celtic were going to end up, especially with that group they were drawn in the middle of this rebuild too. But I think next year it's about. I want us to return to I want us to be in the Europa League. We're a good enough side. I think we've got a good enough squad, a good enough manager to be trying to compete against those guys. So hopefully this is a one-time thing. I want to be, but ultimately, hopefully we win the league and we're in the Champions League next season. Never mind anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's always the aim, especially with
Sorry, Slavia Prague away. Slavia Prague will be taking on. So a lot of the ones you want to avoid gone already. Maccabi Tel Aviv, Slavia Prague, Fenerbahce versus Slavia Prague in match 3. But on you go, Ryan.
I can't even remember what I was talking about.
We'll probably winning the league and getting back to the champion.
Well, that's the aim. Obviously, if you win the league, it's looking very, very likely that unless something mental happens, that we'll get a group stage place in the Champions League, which would be great financially and good to be back in amongst the big boys. That should be our aim. Celtic are historically a Champions League club. We've won it, so that's what we should be aiming for. But I think our experiences this season will definitely stand us in good stead for next season if we do get into that competition.
Match number 4 is about to be drawn. Of course, if you are looking on the screen right now, the draw that I have there is a little bit behind, but that's just to be expected. But match number 4 about to be fully drawn here, and there goes PAOK. They're gone, so Celtic won't be playing PAOK because they'll be taking on. Who is it? They just drew there. I forgot who the first team out of the hat was. Michelin, that's it. Yeah, so Michelin, who of course beat Celtic to get to the next round.
I know we can't get them, but I would take Michelin again.
Oh yeah, they were nothing great at all. And you see, if you look at Michelin, the fact they're in here, and here comes Brendan Rodgers, Leicester City now. Brendan Rodgers, of course, the other day, you could have used his own meme on him, Ryan. He didn't even know the Conference League existed. You could have used the "Don't be disrespectful." There is an opportunity if Celtic and Leicester both make it to the quarter-finals, we could face Leicester City. Imagine us playing Brendan Rodgers, Leicester City in this competition, Ryan.
It's a bit scary to even think about that. Let's keep that for the final. Let's try and keep that sort of
final. Yeah. Imagine that beating Brendan Rodgers in the final, full circle. But they will be taking on, and there's the one that you wanted away, Ryan. Leicester will be taking on Randers.
So who are the teams that are left?
So left in the Partizan Belgrade, Bodo Glimt, and Tottenham / Vitesse. So some really tough ones in there, to be quite honest. They are some tough games. But I mean, I wouldn't mind the like of Vitesse. Here we go, boys. Here we go. Celtic's been drawn out of the box. Here we go. Here it comes. Who are we getting? It's either going to be Tottenham Hotspur or Vitesse, Bodo Glimt, or Partizan Belgrade. The question is, who will it be? I think there was still talk of a chance of Tottenham being able to play a game, was there not?
They said that tie won't be replayed, so it's going to a panel.
Right, well, here we go. It is time to see who Celtic will draw. This is the big conversation of the stream. Celtic will be playing Ryan McGinley. Here it comes. Bodo Glimt. There you go. That's the one. Celtic will be heading to Norway. They've just won the Norwegian division, haven't they? There you go. That is Celtic's tie for the Conference League. Get our tickets to Norway booked, boys. Let's get it booked. Ryan, what are you thinking right now? Sparta Prague next out, by the way. Bodo Glimt, it was one of the teams that before this stream really kicked off, you said you wanted to avoid Bodo Glimt.
They're a form team.
They're a form team, but their season's over, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have them. We'll have them at a good time, I think.
But you've got to take that into consideration. But I don't think that thing sort of helped us in the past either. That sort of mentality at all. It's a difficult draw. They won the Norwegian League. They've got some really good players in there. I think they lost their left back. I'm sure their left back. Yeah, he went to Hertha Berlin, so they'll be trying to replace him, I guess. I've got to be honest, I don't really know too much about Bodo Glimt, but I know about Patrick Berg. That guy's been linked with us, it seems, for ages, and I don't think he's coming in January now. That's for sure.
No, well, it's a good chance to scout the opposition and scout the targets, because
to be fair, the vultures are kind of swooping over him already in terms of him going to another club. So he might even be gone in January before we play him. So it might be a more favourable draw by the time we get there. By the time we've improved, and we'll see what the sort of situation is with Bodo Glimt. It'll be an interesting tie, but it's a tough tie. I can't even speak. It'll be a tough tie, but one that I expect us to go through in.
Yeah, it's look, we talk about it being one of the tougher ones of the opposition in the competition. But, you look at us playing right now, and I don't think there's any reason to fear them necessarily, Ryan.
No, definitely not. I mean, if you look at it on paper, obviously you take away the sort of mould of nightmare that we had 4 or 5 years ago. If you get a sort of Norwegian team in the when you compare them to some of the other teams that we could have got, it's not too bad a draw, but they're not a team you can take lightly. They're the champions in their league. They've got good players. So it'll be an interesting tie. It'll be another good night at Celtic Park. Hopefully there's still fans there by the time we get to that.
Let's not bring that up. Let's not bring that up.
It's just honesty, mate. At the end of the day, you see the way it's going.
Okay. Listen, I'm going to hold out faith. I've got about 800 viewers, by the way. So just to recap on screen right now, and we'll talk a little bit more about Celtic's tie a little bit. But it's a big draw for Celtic. It was one of the teams who are in form in this competition. But on screen, we have almost all ties here on screen. We've got Marseille, who are playing Karabag, PSV taking on Maccabi Tel Aviv, Fenerbahce taking on Slavia Prague, Michelin taking on PAOK, Leicester, who will play Randers, Celtic, of course, against Bodo Glimt, Sparta Prague against Partizan, and then finally the last game will be Rapid Vienna versus what looks to be probably Vitesse, but obviously could be Tottenham Hotspur as well. So it's a competition that still has some quality sides left in it, Ryan. There's some obviously in that other side that we couldn't play against, the likes of your Leicester City, your PSVs, your Marseilles. There are some decent sides in this competition, and we want to be meeting them. And ultimately, the next round after that, the last 16 sort of round, we want to be through there. It's not going to be easy, but I'm fancying our chances.
I think that tie Celtic v Bodo Glimt will be the highest scoring game.
Yeah,
out of a lot of those ties.
They play some good attacking football, don't they?
Yeah, and so do we. But I mean, you say that we played like. Our defence has actually been quite good recently as well. So hopefully it's more showed up. It's even more showed up once we actually get to that tie and we can sort of manage it with our attacking play. It's going to be an interesting tie for sure. It'll be a great night at Celtic Park, and obviously the away day will be absolutely brilliant as well. Norway's a beautiful country.
You just done it. Norway's a beautiful country.
I know. I even the way I said it, I could actually hear the Brendan Rodgerism coming out.
It was a Neil Lennonism.
All right. Oh, it could be either or, to be fair.
They do Lennonism, you know. I've got a great affiliation with the people of Norway, you know. Well, Celtic have obviously
They beat Roma 8-3 over 2 legs.
That's the thing. That's obviously the big story. The thing is, of course, Roma did not feel anywhere near their strongest side, but at the end of the day, it's a Serie A side managed by the likes of Jose Mourinho. These aren't mugs. This is going to be a very, very difficult game, and they've got some entertaining football there. I think it's just typical of us as Celtic fans, though, to think about it in the way that, we're thinking of a struggle. We're thinking of how tough it's going to be. And we're quick to forget the success we just had in the group there, 9 points. The competition that we faced, the Leverkusen, Betis. These sides are so superior to Bodo Glimt, but Bodo Glimt do have a spirit, they do have a mentality, and they do have a fight in them that is probably going to be as difficult a game as any of them. I think it's also, and I say we're easy to forget how well we played, it's also easy to forget sometimes how good these teams have played and how much they'll be up for it, because they'll be up for it as much as a Leverkusen would be, Ryan.
I mean, you've got to look at it another side of things as well. Would we be one of the teams that Bodo Glimt would have wanted to have been avoiding in the next round? I think there's definitely easier draws than us in this round. Definitely. I mean, there's tougher draws as well, but there's definitely easier ones too. It'll be an interesting tie. This team have a lot of spirit. I just seen that their capacity stadium's 5,000. So it's going to be so difficult to get a ticket for that.
Any chance I think Celtic will be lucky. Well, we don't even know if we'll be able to travel, to be quite honest with you. But
I think people will travel anyway, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a very, very small ground. It's going to be good though. I think it'll be surely that might be the first time in our history we play Bodo Glimt. I don't think Celtic have ever took them on before. I can't think of any.
I can't see either.
But of course, Norway is a country which we've had a little bit of history with in recent years. Rosenborg being one of the big sides that we've took on a numerous amount of times.
Seems like we played them every year for about 5 years.
That's right. And obviously we've had the likes of Christopher Ayer, Mohamed El Younousi playing at Celtic. So get them on the phone and get a little bit of insight.
Joe as well.
Joe Berget, I didn't have to be reminded about him right enough, but you know that there is a lot of good players that have, of course, came from Norway that have played for Celtic. this is going to be big. I'm looking forward to it. Look, I was never really a big fan of this whole Conference League bonanza, but I think now that we're here, Ryan, I think you've been corrected. I think 7.3 thousand pounds, I was about to say capacity apparently, but I don't know. I mean, of course, we can't.
Number, so I'll take his word for it.
We can't forget Ronnie, who's just won the MLS, a famous Norwegian to be with Celtic Football Club. But yeah, I'm excited now. I must admit, seeing that draw, I'm really excited, and I'm hoping that we do have still in Scotland full capacity stadiums coming this next round, because I think it's got all the qualities to be an exciting game, both atmosphere wise and football on the pitch wise.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a tie to look forward to. You get two really attacking teams. I think both legs will be so entertaining for the neutral anyway, if not for whatever team's winning. I'm really looking forward to it. It's a winnable tie, but we've got to be careful, because you can't go into these games sort of expecting to go through or expecting to go through comfortably. It's going to be an interesting game for sure. I just hope we go out on the other side. We sort of go out and get the victory and proceed to the next round.
Now, I think that'll about do us. There's not too much else to talk about. We'll probably cover it a little bit on the podcast later on this week. We'll obviously cover it in far more depth when the time comes. I think it's in February, isn't it? We'll be playing this game, so We'll probably cover it a lot more when that time comes along. But is there anything you'd like to throw in, Ryan, before we do end off the stream today?
Just bring it on, really. I can't wait. Hopefully, we're in a good position in the league when these ties come around. Hopefully, we've closed the gap a wee bit and we can sort of get a couple of knockout ties under our belt, which would be absolutely great for the sort of growth of this team. But I'm really looking forward to it, and there's plenty to be optimistic about with regards to Celtic just now.
Is it the game of the round?
I'm just having a look at them all. Yeah, I would probably say so. When you look at the teams, the way that the two teams play, I think that's the game for the. If you've got like a spare evening, I think that's the game that you would choose out of all of them to watch.
Yeah, I would agree, and I'll do it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
We're the biggest team left in this competition, so.
Oh yeah, so the biggest team by a mile, by a country mile.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much for everybody who tuned in today, whether you're a Celtic fan or not. We peaked at about 800 viewers at some point, so thank you very much for that. It is much appreciated. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. But from me and Ryan McGinley, that'll do us this afternoon. I hope you all have a lovely day, and I'll see you.